Hey good folks, Dr. John Delony here with Ramsey Solutions. The last few videos we've been talking about grief, how to process grief, being with others while you're grieving, and all of us are grieving during this pandemic nonsense mess. I've been taking calls in the radio booth and I want you to watch this call. Two people, a husband wrestling with love and care for his wife, and they're hurting. And it has everything to do with grief. Take a look.
How long have y'all been married?
Just over 9 years.
9 years. So when did depression, anxiety, it usually doesn't just pop up. Have you seen this? Is this a family history for her? Give me kind of the arc of the depression, anxiety that showed up.
So, her parents do struggle with depression and anxiety. Her mother has a number of different health conditions and, that contribute to that. I really didn't notice anything, and maybe that's just from me being a dumb, oblivious husband. I don't know, but
you're welcome to the club.
Yeah. I really didn't notice anything until October of 2018, which actually coincided with the month that we got out of debt. She started to say things of, I just don't feel right. I don't feel, I'm having, difficulty sometimes getting out of bed and it's just very, she wasn't feeling herself. She's always been very involved in teaching some of the youth of our church. She does an early morning seminary class. She did an early morning seminary class that was teaching some of the youth, and that was that's something that she's always been very passionate about, and she was having a hard time getting into it. And
so what's your role? What role have you played the last couple of years?
In trying to help her with that, or contributing to that, or I guess, what are you?
Both, yeah. The word the phrase you just used gave me a clue. What does help look like for you?
I don't know. Like a lot of husbands, I'm a fixer at heart, and I know that doesn't work. I know that doesn't actually help anything, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to reach her, because when she gets into those depressive episodes, she just starts to run herself down, and she starts talking about that I need to divorce her because I can do so much better, and it just, I don't know what to do in those moments.
Yeah.
I don't want my marriage to end.
Well, the fact that you're reaching out and calling tells me it's not going to, because you're invested in it, okay? And I want to tell you on behalf of all the guys listening to this that I'm proud of the step that you're taking, because it's a big step and it's a hard step. It's a hard step that way, way, way too many husbands don't do. So the fact that you're still vested makes my heart full. So you nailed it. Let me back up and tell you this. Depression and anxiety, at the end of the day, all anxiety is it's a fire alarm. It just is I hate it as a diagnosis. I hate depression as a diagnosis, because it tattoos somebody with a temporary state with a permanent label. And when we have ups and downs in life, do you have any kids?
Yeah, we have one child.
Okay. Had y'all planned to have more? Have y'all had fertility issues? Have you had challenges there?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get into things like fertility challenges, identity issues, who are we? It is year 7 of our marriage. we had this huge goal to get out of debt, and we got there, and we were hoping that this external plug was going to fill some internal identity holes that we have. All of a sudden, the air just starts getting let out of the balloon. And when I, as a husband, when we went through multiple miscarriages and I thought we were going to have this many kids, and suddenly we didn't. I missed the identity assault on my wife and I do crisis for a living, man, and I missed it by 10 football fields. I just missed it. And then I started trying to solve some of these challenges with logic. And so all depression, anxiety is an alarm system, and they are disconnection disorders. That means that somebody is untethered and unplugged. And so for somebody like you, for somebody like me who looks at a problem and tries to solve it with logic, solve it with, if you just do this, what that does is it tends to take somebody who's struggling and looping out and frustrated and says things that they don't really mean, like, dude, just run from me because I'm not worth you being here. That is somebody trying to tether in. And so a couple of things. High five to you for seeking out professional help. I think that's the right thing for you, and I think it would be helpful for you to both go at some point together. I think that's wise. So start with the university list and get a list of counselors in your area. The second thing is this. I want you to do something every day, twice a day, for the next week or 2, 3 weeks. And you can say, hey, dude, this knucklehead pseudo doc on the radio told me to do this, and so we have to. And all I want you to do is in the morning and in the evening, twice a day, I want you to hold her hands, and I want you to look her in the eye and say, tell me how today is. And when it's over, y'all can laugh, you can be all silly, you can get teary, whatever that is, but I want you to hold her hands, make skin-to-skin contact, look her in the eye and say, how's your day going? And then when she gives you an answer at the end, all you can say is, thank you for sharing that. That's it. I'm not going to give any advice. I'm not going to give you solutions. I'm not going to give you any, you know what you should be. Just say, thank you for sharing that. And what's going to happen, hopefully over the next couple of weeks, is these tiny, tiny little tentacles of connection are going to start making their way across your marriage again. And that's how you're going to heal from the inside out. You got to get professional help on this one. I think having a counselor that you trust is wise and smart. But start with skin-on-skin contact, look in their eyes, and don't look to solve this problem, look to connect from the inside out.
What a lovely guy. What a lovely couple. Anytime somebody has a picture of what tomorrow's going to look like, whether that's they're going to be holding a loved one, whether that's they're going to be graduating, whether that's they're going to have a house full of kids running around, laughing, knocking things over, causing problems. Anytime somebody has a picture of tomorrow and that picture changes, gets ripped out from under them, slowly, quickly, that's grief. And you feel that pain, which again, pain just points to something that you loved. And when it goes away, if you don't properly grieve, if you don't process the fact that the picture's changed on us, and we have to do the hard, painful, ugly work of recreating and dreaming about a new picture to live into, then it will come out in all sorts of different places. This is a gross word that they usually use for dirty diapers, but we call it leakage in counseling. If you don't properly deal with your feelings, with the pain you have inside, it will come out, and it will come out in weird places. It will even come out like in the last call, where a wife who loves her husband looks at him and says, you're just better off leaving me. Just go. And you can hear the tears of a husband as he's saying, I don't want to go. I want to love you. I want to take care of you. And I don't know how. So you heard me tell him, often, I don't want to gender this, but often guys try to solve problems with math, right? They try to articulate, you should be exercising and working out and eating properly. That's the way to, and man, when you're grieving, when you're hurting, sometimes math isn't the answer. Connection is. You heard me tell the caller, I want you to hold your wife's hands. I want you to look her in the eye and say, how are you? I love you. How are things going? And then when she tells you, no answers, no advice, just thank you for sharing. That's it. That starts the roots of connection. That starts the roots of one person looking into the soul of another person and saying, how are you? I'm here for you. Not my advice, not my solutions, not my answers, but me. And then an issue like fertility. Not only are you grieving this idea, this loss of my body was designed for one thing and I can't do that one thing. That's a loss. But you're also going to grieve this picture, right? This imaginary Thanksgiving table that's never going to be full. This high school graduations that you're not going to attend, and the future weddings you're not going to, right? So you're grieving lost pictures, lost ideas, lost dreams. It's bigger than just the incident. And we often focus on grief like what's happening right now. I didn't get to go to my birthday. I didn't get to have Easter in the way I normally have Easter. I just lost my job. It's bigger than that. We have to collectively grieve. We lost control. We lost this illusion that most medical problems are going to be okay. Most economic problems are going to be okay. Because we got sideswiped by this deal. We didn't see it coming, and here it is. So we have to properly understand and grieve. Our future's going to look different now. And we're going to do it together. And then we're going to go be brave. And then we're going to work together with our community, with our friends, with our coworkers, with our families. And we're going to start the building blocks of building what tomorrow's going to look like. And we're going to do it together. That's what bravery looks like. This is John Delony. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next time. Don't forget, subscribe below, all the below things. Don't forget, if you want to know more about grief, feelings, all the things, if you haven't read it by now, seriously, what are you doing with your life, right? If you're watching The Last Dance on ESPN, that's fair, because that's actually been a really good docuseries. Other than that, read the article and subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me at John Delony and all the things. I'll see you next time. Take care.